I think this topic has been talked about quite a bit. COVID, whenever we hear COVID, every business has tapped into it in terms of what challenges, what are the chances out of it. I don't want to really delve much into that because we've already talked about this topic quite a bit. But would you tell me, in terms as the companies that you are, what have you really, what chances have you grasped out of COVID, and did you develop or work on any projects yourselves on that, in that sense?
Yeah, we worked on a few because of the lockdown. So our teams actually worked on things that we wanted to work on a long time ago, but we never had a chance. So luckily, a silver lining is that we had a chance to work on this. There's a couple of things that we started, which was a UX score. So we're developing a quantifiable way to measure someone's experience on a digital platform. So that's coming soon, and we could spend that lockdown creating this. There's a few other projects that are coming up shortly, but I'll just say watch this space.
All right.
From an agency perspective, yeah, we have worked on two different concepts, to be honest, but this is, I would say this is not, yeah, maybe it's related because you had a little bit more time at home, right, that you could maybe think about different kind of business like ideas which you had maybe like before in your mind, but then everything was too busy, and if you're working until late and too many meetings and too many kind of commitments, you were never even able to do so. So we had, for example, one of these projects which we have worked on is that we have seen the increase of the demand on Shopify for entrepreneurs. Right, for startups, they really started seeking us. We saw that spike and we understood that spike. We had that like from January, February onwards, and it's continuously growing, which means everyone who is interested in Shopify to bring the website online, they reached out and wanted to understand more, or at least to understand how they can build an e-commerce business. One issue what we had as an agency, if you started out, I started out with Julia like 5 years ago. We were like a small team. We were only two of us. Then you were growing. You had like 4 employees, 3 employees, and then you were growing to a quite bigger office. If all of that happens, your overheads as an agency become higher. So you do have a certain kind of quality and talent which you need to pay a salary as well. So the ticket size of an entry project reached at that time a higher level, which we actually didn't want to do so, because Shopify is there to be friendly, right? To be there to be an enabler for startups and entrepreneurs, which we are. We are startups and entrepreneurs, even though the company is 5 years old. And so this was a pain point, because we needed to turn away these clients which actually brought us to who we are now, or what we are doing right now. So it wasn't really nice. So we came up with a solution of implementing industry-specific websites, which we do know from an UI UX perspective as well as from the kind of features and expectations what the customer wants. We have started doing that industry-specific because we couldn't focus client-specific, so we did it more industry-specific. And now if a customer would come to us, for example, which is a smaller customer who wants like a faster entry, we would have like more ready-made versions available, which are not like into going too much into depth with the project manager, with too much mapping out from a design. Like all of that is taken care of. This is, I would say, it's a big one, because it allows us to broaden our kind of sales channels to customers which we build us, or they build our agency, or which we are. And so this is what helped us to connect with them again and support them in their journey.
Yeah. That's great. Nico, did you think from the spike on entrepreneurship and people wanted to start their e-commerce, do you think it were the main reasons? Do you think it was because, unfortunately, let's say people lost their jobs because of the pandemic, or was it because e-commerce started growing because everyone's buying online now, or was it a combination of both? And do you see that trend increasing here in this region?
To be honest, I believe UAE is doing a tremendous effort to bring everything like kind of paperless and pushing forward to that. But as said, we have cash on delivery quite dominant, right? This is not only because it's not really developed, it's just because of the customer, the kind of right? The understanding you were always paying in cash here,
Yeah.
so it is like somewhere still stuck,
Yeah.
right? And then at the same time, what UAE is doing amazing support as well is to try to have websites kind of regulated, right? That you understand, okay, if you're going somewhere in your shop and you pay online, that it's legit, it's not
Yeah.
like a fake product or it's something strange or it's not even registered business. That's why you need to have a business license if you're a startup, even though, or an entrepreneur. So I would say we saw that spike in, I think it's a combination, to be honest. I think it's a combination between the coronavirus, what's going on, as well as the kind of normal kind of adoption or digitalization of
Yeah.
the evolution, just what is going on. But yeah, it definitely spiked because these kind of, maybe the mindset from a lot of people who were maybe not too much into e-commerce or digital,
Yeah.
they understood that this is a highly important sales channel, especially in lockdown, or what we had. Everyone was forced, or not even forced, everyone needed to use all of them, whether it's from a government point of view, and everyone did a lot of adjustments from companies or transformations as well towards digital. I think it was turbocharged,
Yeah.
and it's still being extremely turbocharged, to be honest. Because there is so much to be done and there are so many opportunities. So I do believe, yes, that through that pandemic, what we are going all through, that it helped in an overall digital kind of transformation to fasten that up.
Speed it
But
up, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, great.
Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. We have much more topics coming up. Follow us.